Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Grid. So starting up on the pole, it'll be the number 8 of Seth Hatchell, VSPEED's very own, on Team VSPEED, with Brody Hayes, another VSPEED driver, on the outside. Row number 2 belongs to AJ Stravato, Justin Carey in 4th. 5th spot, Eric Hutton, Dennis Faircloth in 6th. 7th position, Caleb Weekly with Bailey Turner in 8th. Rounding out your top 10 here today, it'll be Chris Sward and Jeff Wright. So we're going to go through this grid rather quickly because these cars are coming out of the corner right now. They're in turns 3 and 4. Jeremiah Vincent, Dallas Sullivan, Cody Atkins, Noah Mikowski. 38, 39 car field here today. So a big, full, lush field here at Daytona as we take you through all these drivers. And I tell you what, if we get through all of them, I'll be surprised. Pace car is getting ready to pull off. Let's get up front here with Seth Hatchell as we get set to go green. And for the first race of the season, it's going to be Seth Hatchell taking the green. Leading lap number 1, Seth Hatchell with the 33 of AJ Stravato has the help down there on the bottom. 37 on track, 10 on your scoring chart. Brody Hayes is going to get really close there side by side. He has the 80 of Dennis Faircloth giving him a push. So the inside-outside line, both led by V-Speed cars, and then you have 2 separate teams behind them pushing them to the front. Look back deep in this field, Nick Starling, he started in the 11th position. The traffic jam that is Daytona. So 2x2 right now, but as these laps progress, you'll see these drivers start to make a little bit gutsier calls, work their way to the outside, try to take it 3 wide, 4 wide even if they're daring enough. But, you know, below the double yellow, I think that's going to stick somewhat in your mind with Jeff Gordon passing below the apron at a super speedway. I don't know that it would be recommended to try such a move, but it is possible here at Daytona, and I feel like with the name below the double yellow, you'd have to try it at least once here. So far, so good, though. Lap number 3 in the works as they come off of turn 3 and 4. The leader still Seth Hatchell. AJ Stravato giving him a great push, and Brody Hayes loses a little bit of time there through 3 and 4, and that'll allow the 8 car to lead another time by. So a little bit of a change here for the B car. They started to make the side draft a little bit more effective. When you start to see that outside pinch down, that you'll see the inside line lose some of its run, and the outside might be the more dominant line here of what we've seen in the past with the B car. It seemed like the bottom was the place to be here tonight, though. Side-by-side action. V-Speed controlling the front line. On board with Dennis Faircloth and number 80 Sin Magic Toyota Supra. Looks closer to that bumper, and another factor that with this new draft package, this new kind of damage model, there's a lot of things going on here with the iRacing updates. In fact, pretty much across the board, there's a factor that has changed with every single one of these cars and the oval and the template. And so you really have to think about, can I get up there and push the same way that I used to? Does this car handle and respond the same way as it did? In Daytona, a little less turbulent, it appears, than it was at Talladega, but this car can be a handful very quickly. You get to pushing too hard. As you see, Faircloth gets right up on the bumper, but they're not really pushing like they used to in this car right now. You'll probably see that intensify when we get to the opposite of this spectrum with 5 to go. Field right on top of each other. 35 cars in the last position right now, sitting back, just taking their time. No reason to push right now, but stay with the draft. And we're riding on board with Robert Gilmore in the number 4. He's been pretty content here, I would say, with running back. It actually shows 36th position, currently in 35th. And he'll be the last car on the racetrack. The 36th position did not grid, so that will give him a spot up on the field. 31 of Alexander Pelican technically scored as the 25 out here today. Larry's giant subs on the side of that 31. Good to see Alex Pelican back out on the racetrack after a long hiatus. Good to see him out there. Already missing my co-commentator out of the day here, but somehow the 80 car pushed hard enough, got Brody Hayes past the 8 machine. He dropped down in front of his teammate, and now a brief lead there for Dennis Faircloth coming across the line. Didn't quite get the lap led, but he's got help from Bailey Turner rather on the outside line. The 48 of Jeff Wright just behind them as well in 6th. And looking 3 wide already here. 24 decides the 80 of Faircloth isn't going to get them any further than they've gotten. And into the sucker hole now for Faircloth as he loses about 5, 6, 7 spots now. He has Sad Boys on the outside. There is a hole there with Samard he could drop into if he wants it. Electing to stay in the middle here. And now he'll move down to that and we'll go back 2 by 2. But 3 drivers on the outside now. All teammates. Then another teammate on the inside with Seth Hatchell down there below pushing his teammate of Brody Hayes. You've got AJ Stravato trying to find his way. It looked like the 88 maybe lagging back a little bit here. But while this is all going on, Faircloth moves up to the outside in front of the 7 of Caleb Weekly. Little check up there, and this is what it feels like to be deep in this pack, sitting back in the 10th position. A lot of lifting of the throttle, always checking up, trying to find a way to get to the front without causing problems. And you're 3-4 cars back, you really can't afford to get up on the bumper or really make any moves until someone goes with you. Starling sitting back a little bit here from the 7 machine of Weekly. There is a hole there for the 12 of Michael Newman if he wants it. It is now closed. And you can see a pretty sizable gap Starling is allowing in front of him here. The 46 getting up on the rear bumper of Dallas Sullivan. So now some more working together here for some teammates. Line Admin Racing starting to group up here. We just need the 5 of Alan Dice. He started deep in this field today. And that 5 machine, he's been chipping away at it, but not much. And a big check up there. The 5 of Dice is sideways. Gets the front end ripped off of that machine, and somehow we stay green. And that splits about 12, 13 cars off from the rest of this field. Let's go back on the instant replay and find out exactly where this began. On board with the 5 of Dice. Looks like the 35 of Banks maybe gets into the wall. Let's back that up one more time here. We'll find Alan Dice. He gets checked up here on the inside, but it starts up here with the 35, and there's the 28 of Dennis Steele. 42 sneaks on by the 70 of Salfridge. He barely misses that as well. So it gets a little hairy here at the start, and Dice gets the worst end of it. He's lost the entire front end of this machine. But back up here to the front with about a 25-car breakaway. Brody Hayes, Bailey Turner side by side. Still not able to get clear of that inside line. The 8 and the 37 have done well. First of the camera caught the 5 rather quickly. I'd like to apologize because I feel like the last few weeks here on VSPEED, when we start talking about somebody that we didn't talk about or didn't mention yet in the race, we put the camera on them. It seems like every time this week it's sent them around so far. With Sunday, Monday, and now Tuesday, we're 3 for 3 here on the broadcast. I might just go with static cams from now on. You can see that breakaway, it's getting larger. The group just now coming into your frame. These guys are way, way back. The group has split off about 10 seconds here with Dennis Steele in the 28 leading this group of cars. There's Max Cost in the second spot of this pack. And this goes from 26th position all the way back to Mark Beverly in the 83 machine. Then you have Nicholas Lawrence, who's way out here with Joshua Banks, who got into the wall earlier. And these two trying to work their way back up there. swapping back and forth. Doesn't look like the outside has been as dominant. There's one driver I would think would try to pinch down and get that side draft early in this race. It's the 24 of Turner, but he hasn't really been doing that yet. Take a look here from the blimp camera. He's leaving a pretty good half a gap there. He does pinch down on Hayes for a brief moment on the entry of the corner. Now going to slide down around the entry of 2. Get right next to the 8 of Hatchell and down the back straightaway. Looks like he is going to have some headway. The 48 of Jeff Wright gives him another shot. He does get the lead briefly. He is almost clear of the 37. Doesn't come down. Stays with the teammates. And right now, this play, if I'm these 4 drivers for Sad Boys, I would try to lag back a little bit if I'm the 88 of Hutton. Allow the 33 of Stravato to pop up in front of me and watch the 8 and the 10, actually 37, score and fall back a little bit. I think that would help. But the problem with that is you just got another car in line, the 21 of Justin Carey will end up on the back bumper of Seth Hatchell, so it won't last long. They'll have to make very quick work of it, get organized quickly, but I think at that point you could have Jeff Wright probably clear, drop down, and then it's four cars by Sad Boys up front. Maybe that's something they're thinking about doing, just haven't been able to execute it yet. We look here in the middle of the pack, these guys lagging back a little bit. Here's the 55 of Cody Atkins on your screen right here. He started in 15th. A lot of the cars here and throughout the field, with the exception of Seth Hatchell and Jeff Wright, haven't really moved much in this. Bailey Turner actually moved up 6 positions, Jeff Wright up 6 positions, but outside of that, a lot of these drivers haven't changed spots. You can look all the way through this grid, and everyone's about where they began this race. So it's, I think it's just kind of the mentality here today in Daytona. Let's tick away some laps, get to green flag pit stops. They're going to be coming up here in probably the next 20 laps. Let's see if they can get it to that point of the race before we try pushing the issue and making any dramatic moves for position. So lap number 18 underway. Brody Hayes has led 12 of those 18. We've been fighting with multiple different lead changers. Seth Hatchell got some laps led as well. Bailey Turner has probably stuck by. I was going to say he's got 1 under the belt here, but not able to get entirely clear. And Jeff Wright disappears there for a moment, and that's going to hurt the run on the outside. Anytime that happens where the guy pushing or the guy in front disappears, the iRacing service negates the draft. So any help there that the 24 car might have had, you can see they lose a ton of positions. Drops down in front of the 33 car. That's what I was thinking would happen. And now maintaining 2x2, 2 rows deep for Sad Boys. So lap around this place, you can see the 24 car of Bailey Turner a little more aggressive than Stravato was in the back bumper of Hatchell. That's keeping the inside line going, and right now, not contested. Brody Hayes working on leading the most laps in this stint as we go lap number 20. Angelo Horonis, Kyle McGarvey, a little bit of problems back here. Maybe a little contact, not sure what happened, but I saw them pop up on the timing and scoring. They lost a little bit of ground Kyle McGarvey actually up 4 positions, but Angelo Ronis has dumped down a couple spots here. This is back around the 22nd, 23rd position for these drivers. The 13 there on the inside of Gavin Baird. That's a new name here at BTDY in the 13 machine. Gavin doing a phenomenal job thus far in his debut at below the double yellow. So checking back in here with Dennis Steele, Max Koss, Alex Pelican. These guys deep. They've lost another 3 seconds to Ray Massey in the 25th position. You see him entering 3, and Massey is just now crossing the tri-oval here for the start-finish line. That checkup cost about 7-8 cars. A ton of time. And based off of the drafting that they're having right now, it doesn't look like they're making up any of that time at all. And winner of the clash here, he's got to know it's time to go. You got to start pushing, because if this race stays green, they are out of luck. There's no chance that they're going to catch up. He's got to get right up on the bumper and lean on the 28 car as hard as he can. Driver's losing another second. Koss has got to get right up on the bumper on the exit of these corners. Maybe getting a little bit hot. Might want to allow that 31 of Pelican to get up here on the bumper. Jeff Wright takes over the lead, drops down in front of Brody Hayes, and now has the inside line working. This means Dennis Faircloth is back to be able to push her. And that outside line with Eric Hutton. And he'll go to the outside. The 88 drops down in front. So now we have Sad Boys all on the inside row. Nobody goes with Faircloth. And he gets pushed to the outside now. There's the 3. On the outside, Jeremiah Vincent getting up on the bumper of Caleb Weekly, but the outside line has fallen apart. And that can mean only one thing here. We're approaching green flag pit stops. You see that outside line starting to get thinner and thinner. Movement here for the outside line. They get reorganized. There's the 03 of Noah Mikowski joining this group. On board with the 03 now, running behind Dennis Faircloth. Jeremiah Vincent, Caleb Weekly. They're getting a pretty good shove here, and it looks like the 7's going to work his way up to second position before they enter turn 3. Weekly needs to hold on to it, though. A little bit up and down on the racetrack. Here comes another shove. He's going to get side by side with your leader across the line. Peaks to the lead now. Weekly almost has it. There's a lap car of Alan Dice on the outside. Dice going another lap down after getting the front end torn off. Caleb Weekly takes over the lead. He almost has Jeff Wright cleared. And Vincent giving great shoves here. This car overheats a little bit sooner than it used to, but across the line for the lap lead, it's Weekly. Weekly almost has the spot cleared. Now moved to the outside. Vincent almost goes to the outside. Weekly drops down. Vincent drops down. And now he's going to get the lap led because the momentum swing. Jeff Wright's going to get up on the bumper and help here from the 80 of Faircloth. The 03 of Mikowski. It's getting crazier and crazier up here for the lead position. Vincent on the bottom, not going to lead this time by. Weekly's going to get the position. Faircloth can't stay glued to that bumper, though. Moves it up to the outside. So Vincent up 12 positions. Biggest mover of the race thus far. Actually, I take that back. Biggest mover of the race right now is Kyle McGarvey. He is up 14 back here in the 12th position. How about that? He's been on the outside a lot here working through this field. He's almost into the top 10 now as we come up on lap 29. Swapping positions back and forth. A little turbulence there by the 80 car. Faircloth gets it back under him. It looks like that thing's a handful here on the outside. Everybody on the outside line doesn't look like they can stay in line with each other. The 80 of Faircloth gets a little loose, almost slides down in front of the 24. Bailey Turner has an oh no moment on the bottom. That allows 5-6 cars. Caleb Wakely getting a little bit too close. Looks like maybe that wheel's starting to get a little loose, and Faircloth drops down to the bottom of the racetrack now after losing quite a few positions. Now it's Neon Auto Racing on the outside line getting hooked up. The 03 of Mahalski gets up on the back bumper. And they start to resurge back to the front now. What a move here. That's 7 positions gained in just that short little span of time, and back side by side for the lead again, Caleb Weekly. He's clear for the position. He could drop down if he wants it. He's going to stay up there on the outside now with Mikowski going to help him through. Next line this time by, Vincent gets the lap lead. 32 in the books now, 33 coming by the line. And we're right in that pit window. Who's going to start it off? New drivers do come down pit road. There's the 4 of Gilmore. He's in. Jordan Brockell, Max Cost in as well. Down and away for the 63 machine. Remember last week's winner at a super speedway, but gets tossed out of the field deep back here. He's got a lot of ground to make up of over 15 seconds when they come back out on the racetrack. Here come the leaders now on by and the outside. A few more takers down the pit lane. The 7 of Weekly, the 8 of Hatchell, Mikowski in as well. Aircloth, Brody Hayes, looks like the 35, and what a miss there by the 7 onto the stall. He slides it all the way through the box, and for a fuel only stop. Some of these guys look like they're getting 4 tires. Weekly down and away with these drivers, but had that not happened, he would have been right up front in this pack. And he slides it through probably a good 12, 13 feet. Maybe even more than that. Honestly, this box is about 30 feet long. There's AJ Stravato into his box. '21 in as well. Justin Carey down and away for Jeff Wright. Vincent. There's Turner, Hutton, Aronis, Starling, Donovan. Looks like the 77 of Samard is also in there as well. And here comes some drivers here on the outside. Catching up, there's Seth Hatchell now. Has Noah Mikowski on the back bumper. Weekly falls back to 24th position. These drivers lost about 6 seconds on the lead after those pit stops. And it hasn't gotten organized just yet, but Jeremiah Vincent, these guys did get organized, and they're gonna hold on to that lead as they pass the 5 of Dice. Jeff Wright on the back bumper here of the 3 car. And reading the back of this 3 car. Yep, I'll leave it at that. So that'll conclude our first round of green flag pit stops. The number 3 of Jeremiah Vincent will take over the lead. Jeff Wright just behind him with 5 laps led, and there's Vincent with 8 of them led here today at Daytona. We're going to take a quick commercial break here live on VSPEED.
Sailor Tower Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally and a toot of healer and tower reader. known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Back here live, BTDY at Daytona. 41 laps into this race, the first race of the season. Jeremiah Vincent has led a vast majority of these laps. We had Brody Hayes, Jeff Wright. We've had a variety of different guys up here up at the front, but right now it looks like the 3-car has figured it out. He got hooked up with Jeff Wright, and no one's contested him since green flag pit stops. So the information up on your screen, we've had a breakaway here of about 15 cars for the rest of this field. You see some of the stragglers that worked their way back up here, the 46. These guys all pitted at a little bit different time, but they've been able to catch back up, so it's actually tightened back up with the, what I believe is the 55, yes, of Cody Atkins. Unusual for me, still wrapping my head around that. He was the 81 last season. So the 55 of Atkins, just behind the 21 of Justin Carey, and it's actually a 20-car breakaway. And then Dennis Faircloth, who was up here in the pack earlier, he's all the way back to 21st. Caleb Weekly was also in that group. No one works with him here as that second tandem of cars breaks on by. Looks like the 63 Acosta going to cut him a break. That's a good teammate right there, going to allow him to get up in front of him, but all the way back to 26th after leading some laps here today. Unfortunate there for Weekly, but still plenty of opportunity. We've got a lot of laps left to do. We haven't even hit the halfway mark, and if I know one thing about Daytona, you can have a caution in a hurry at this racetrack to group these guys back up. Racing on your screen, it's typical Daytona, side by side as per usual, and some guys still trying to figure out where they want to be. This is season 3 premiering here on VSPEED, but this league has been around for multiple seasons. I can remember back to almost 7 or 8 of them that I know of, and you know, we got a shout out here to Nick Starling, Alan Dice, people that put this all together for another successful year. Didn't seem like it was that long ago. We took a brief break, but we got some new partners, and on the hood here of the number 18, it's Up There Disc Golf, one of the new series sponsors. We'd like to welcome them into the family as well. And they're going to ride on board with the 18 all season long. Single file out here on the bottom line, and the 18 has no help. Sullivan's going to drop down, so teammates say pop back in line deep in this field. Jeremiah Vincent is starting to get contested. That lap down car of Alan Dice got that damage fixed, and it is fast enough to push to the front. And the 12 machine of Michael Newman, using that to his advantage, almost got clear of it. Alan Dice not on the lead lap, but in front of this group, and across the line, Vincent gets one more. Jeff Wright had him pushed out way ahead of Dice there for a moment. But Vincent kind of lagged back, got back connected to the bumper, and now Dice drops down to the bottom. The 12 of Newman has the 19 of Brandon Vasquez on the back end. But he drops down behind Dice, and they get clear again. The 3 doesn't look like the 5 is helping or hurting this run, but wow, Vincent pushes him out a mile ahead. And the 19 gets into the 24. And we almost have our first yellow. How do they hold on to that? It breaks the whole pack up here. This is going into 3 and 4. Down the back straightaway, watch the 19 on the outside. Nobody hit anything. Incredible. So in the midst of all that, you can see Vincent playing the little block there on the outside line. He breaks up that momentum. Now the 12 of Newman gets to the back bumper. They push back up to the front. Now using the 5 of Dice in front of the 48 car. Dice just trying to get one of those laps back in the hopes that he can get back in the lead lap. The 12 of Newman gives a little bit of an off-center shove to the 3 of Vincent, and that breaks the momentum up. Now Jeff Wright has the right-of-way. Can he get a lap lead here on the bottom? He will not. The 12 of Newman pushes the 3 back past. These guys starting to push a little harder as we come up on halfway. Now Newman and Vincent get clear of the 5. They drop down in front, so put the 5-lap or 4-lap down car of Dice in the middle of this group. 12 of Newman goes below the double yellow now. And Dice goes up to the outside. He gets pushed into the 12 of Newman around in front of that. It's Jeff Wright with the front end torn off. Still no yellow. Brandon Vasquez coming back up on the racetrack. He saves it. No yellow flag. And the 48 of Jeff Wright, who somehow, I thought the front end was ripped off of that car. It appeared on our graphic that it was, but now I have no idea what just happened. How is the 3 of Vincent? Oh, he's up here by himself. We need to go back and unpack that. On board with the 19 now. One last look here on board with Newman. And he hit the front end of Jeff Wright's car, and I know I saw the front end come off of that. If the damage model just glitched, I'm not entirely sure. But somehow they stay green, and Jeff Wright takes over the lead with the 03 of Mikowski pushing him. Jeff Wright, I don't know. It looked like, and anybody out there at home that wants to chime in, it looked like to me that car should be heavily damaged regardless if the front end came off or not because of the way he hit the, I believe that was the 19 and the 22. They're going to try it again down the backstretch. The 48 of Jeff Wright shoved out of line, comes back up the racetrack, everyone able to avoid it. But that hands over the lead to Seth Hatchell, who's been up front twice today, and now it's VSPEED connected again with Keith Mayato on board with him. They've tried about 6-7 different times here today of bringing out a yellow flag, and they haven't done it yet. And for everybody out there watching this broadcast tonight, time to find that remote or that button on the side of your smart device. We're going to turn up the volume here, bring a little noise here on VSPEED. They try to lead another lap. Seth Hatchell now on the point. They've single filed out from first all the way back to about the 15th position here with Nick Starling in the number 18 car. And it's a big gap back here of 18 seconds to the leaders. That's Cody Atkins who got shuffled out and some of that turbulence that happened on the backstretch. Mark Beverly leading a pack of about 7-8 cars. Beverly in the 17th position here. There's Bailey Turner who got shuffled out. The 31 of Alex Pelican in this group as well. Alan Dice a couple laps down, actually 4 laps down here for the 5 machine. And there goes the 55 with a freight train going by. And he can't do much about it. Caleb Weekly, part of this tandem of cars. He'll be in 23rd, just behind the 55 now, and there's the 42 also being scored a lap down of Kyle McGarvey. Beverly gets a good shove here. They get pulled out. I don't know that that's going to help too much. These guys trying to catch back up, down now 20 seconds. We started talking about them at 18, but the 19 car is blinking. So that wasn't helping the situation at all. There's Newman coming back out on the racetrack. He had heavy damage from almost coming to a complete stop on the racetrack there, and he comes back out onto the racing surface. I think he was just letting the leaders by. I don't think he was coming off of pit road. So 58 laps into the books out of 100, the 200-mile race here at Daytona. Live here on VSPEED, below the double yellow. Race number 1 continues on. Lap 66 is that window again for green flag pit stops. And they should be able to make it to the end of this race. Checking in with the 48 of Jeff Wright. He was another one of those cars that ended up getting shuffled out in the second instance of guys getting into each other at the wrong time down the backstretch. He is in the 29th position, and he is at threat of going a lap down. You'll see the leaders coming out of turn 4 now. So you've seen the tandems, the pairs of cars getting grouped up. Team VSPEED representing here tonight. They've managed to find their way back to the front, but Sad Boys, unfortunately, gets broken up with all of them happening. And now Eric Hutton is the only car in this team that's left in the top 5. He has to look back to AJ Stravato, who is in 9th, to find any help. Then you have the tandem of cars that was Neon Auto Racing. They had gotten paired up a couple times. They're split up. It's really been VSPEED with Brody Hayes, Seth Hatchell, Keith Maiato that have maintained this front end. And after a while, you got to wonder, are these guys going to pit together if they're teammates like this that are separated this far? And you got Jeff Wright that far back. Are they all going to come down at the same time, or do they have to try different strategies? There's Angelo Horonis in the 29. He's kind of the wild card in this picture, but Jeff Wright is now on the verge of going the lap down as Seth Hatchell approaches through the tri-oval. And now one lap down for the 48 car. About 3 laps away from that window. This front pack has just stayed single file. Jeff Wright finds himself inherently back into this group, but the 48 car is riding about mid-pack in here, and if he wants that lap back, he's going to have a caution. No chance here for the 48 car to do it the old-fashioned way. Here at Daytona, you're relying so much on the pack, and unless something dramatic happens, you're pretty much stuck here. Checking back in with that second group of cars, 22 seconds back. Bailey Turner is now leading this group with Dennis Faircloth pushing him, but continuing to lose some time. These guys have single filed out, but it's been a different leader almost every time that we've came back and looked at them. That's Gavin Baird down there on the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to lose some more laps. He's 16 laps down, so his debut here at BTDY not going according to plan. He's still got some work to do to get things back underway, but unfortunately deep in this field, actually 26 laps down here for the number 13. Robert Gilmore off the racetrack. Jeremiah Vincent done for the day. Vincent, remember, was up front, but after that move down to the inside off the racetrack, he decides to bring it behind the wall for the remainder of this race. I see you out there, chat. Good to see you up here for the first race of the season. Jason. You can do it, Eric. Shout out to him. Andrew. Good to see you guys all in here. No C in Mahalski, I know. But for 3 years. For 3 years, I've been butchering that name, and it wasn't until about a month ago that Noah let me know that I've been messing that up. So apologies, but if there's no C in Mahalski, why is there a C in Mahalski? That's all I gotta say. So now in that window, and we're probably going to see some guys start it off. Hatchell, Mayano, Hutton, Emerson in the 22, Simard, the top 5. And this is another name that I haven't mentioned much today, but Marcus Emerson, another debut driver here at BTDY. And the Grip Enemy number 22 machine. And what does the back of that car say? Let's see if we can get a good look at it here. From the nose, Nazrul, and here we go, starting green flag pit stops. Noah Mahalski coming down. Seth Hatchell in front of him. I'm sorry, it's a habit. 46 of Sullivan in as well. Everyone hitting their stalls. Looks like the 46 missed it a little bit there, had to back up. Fuel only here for the 03. The 18 of Starling in as well. Ayato and Hutton stay out. Will they come down this time by? They will. And here comes the 36 in hot. And it looks like a speeding penalty here for Ayato. That's unfortunate. He's going to lose a ton of time here. Let's go back on the instant replay. If we can get it from a drone camera point of view. It looked like it was too hot there. Yeah, way too hot there for the 36. And there's the holding penalty now for Keith. Here comes Hutton now. AJ Stravato behind him. Jeff Wright. So Sad Boys is pitting together, but praying for a caution here on lap 69. miss of the stall there for Hutton. My Auto now down and away. He'll be the first car a lap down as of right now. Looks like 4 tires for the 33 car. Jeff Wright down and away. 88 of Hutton out. 21 a little late on the stop of Justin Carey. The Stravado has the lead for now. Cars catching up fast. Well, that would be Ray Massey, the sleeper here tonight. Haven't mentioned his name much in the 23 machine, but he has the 35, Joshua Banks, behind him. Banks also scored a lap down here today after a rough start to this race. That all happened within about the first 10 laps there for the 35 car. There's Seth Hatchell in the 8 machine, trying to work by on the outside. The 22 looks like he has a little bit of nose damage here. Will he have enough to keep the 23 of Massey up on the point? Jeff Wright leading this group in front with the 33 of AJ Stravado, maintaining the lead here on lap number 70.
Sailor Tower Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Back here live at Daytona, and while we were at commercial breaks, some toss-ups here, and I think we'll just let the driving do the talking. Let's go back on an instant replay and take a look at a little bit of almost 4-wide action down the backstretch. It's Jeff right there in the middle. He comes by and then almost takes him 4 wide down the backstretch. He's on the lead lap here. Not the leader, but is in the front of this field to stay on the lead lap. And then as this run progresses here through the tri-oval, Seth Hatchell gets a big run. And watch AJ Stravato jump up to the outside. So this all happening while we were at commercial break, and now back to the live shot. It's even crazier. There's the 7 of Weekly down in the grass, and we're 3 wide again with the 22 in the middle. That's Emerson. Got a few lap cars in this mix, but how about this? Seth Hatchell, he's going to use the 22 car to try to get back to the front. Hutton stuck up on the outside with the 29 car. That's Hronis, and we're 3 wide for the lead. Ray Massey on the bottom with Jeff Wright. No help here for the 23 car. He needs another guy on his back bumper, and the 19 being a lap down, not pushing the issue, and that allows Hutton to get clear with Hronis. Hutton could drop down now 2 lanes if he wants it. And now the door closes, the 22 with Hatchell. Back to the middle. Slight contact there with the 23 and the 8. '22 car is clear, drops down in front of Jeff Wright. Now the 8 of Hatchell, relying on Simard. VSPEED back up, paired up. Remember, Mayato missed his pit stall, so he lost a little bit of time. Now the 33 of Stravato drops down to the bottom, trying to get to his teammate of Hutton on the outside with Hronis. And now Baird, the car that's a few laps down there on the outside. He's the only one here to help. The 88 of Hutton drops down in front of the 29. The outside line starts to get reorganized after some of these lap cars get shuffled out. The 35 a lap down as well. So a race for the lucky dog position between Jeff Wright and Joshua Banks. The race for the lead here between Seth Hatchell and Emerson with that little touch of front end damage. You can see that is damage. It's not just a look on the livery. He's got some clip there on the hood. Now the 8 of Hatchell drops down in front of him. Chris Simard, Eric Hutton on the outside line. Going to try to surge past. The 22 jumps up to the outside. He had a lap led. He wants more. So nothing really changes here. The VSPEED drivers have been dominant today. I think a variety of every single one of them has had a lap led. Simard being the only one that hasn't, and he's working on that now as he comes up on the outside of Hatchell across the line now to the bottom of the racetrack. Hatchell going to be neck and neck. Simard neck and neck across the line. It's the 8 of Hatchell again for another lap led. That's going to bring him up to 21 out of the 81 complete. This breakaway of about 17 cars. Keith Mayato actually at the back end of this. The 36 machine has actually scored a lap down after having that problem on pit road, the speeding penalty. He's just outside of the draft, but these guys get crazy up here might be the reason he's backing off, as the 77 of Samar did come by and I believe got a lap led. There's one in the books now for every single V-Speed driver on the racetrack. And, you know, I'm typically not biased in the booth, but here tonight with the way that those cars have performed, it's hard not to put it out there. And great job for all these guys and what they're doing here tonight. Making us proud. Represent. But you've got some Sad Boys drivers that are going to try to mix this up. Two of them on the lead lap, the 88 of Hutton, the 33 of Stravato. Then you have the 48 of Jeff Wright down there on the bottom. So for Hronis right now, the 29 car, he's part of this team as well, the Sad Boys. He can get up there and help Eric Hutton. So 3 of the Sad Boys drivers on the outside. I apologize to Angela, didn't realize he was on that team, but they still got some work to do as they want to get around the 2 V-Speed cars. 83 laps complete. Coming up on 84, less than 20 to go, and we haven't had a single yellow. We've worked on having a yellow tonight. The main takeaway from tonight is that we've had 23 lead changes into the books. There's your position battle. Those deficits amongst that top 3 are very slim, less than a tenth of a second. Emerson into the mix. He's been up here for quite a lot of it. These drivers just trying to figure out where they can make their move, and it's a little bit more difficult to take away the lead. They're going to have to take it 3 wide with V-Speed owning those inside and outside lines. You see a little drop back there from Simard. Hatchell starts to get the pull away. The 22 of Emerson looking for a victory here today with not a lot of help. Big Money Racing, or Big Money Banks. Big Money Banks Racing, the number 22. He has a teammate back here in this group somewhere. That's the 35 of Joshua Banks, and he could have an opportunity, but that damage on that front end probably going to affect some of that speed. He's going to have to play this wisely. 15 to go. Samard moves down to the bottom, now in front of his teammate. Gets clear of the 8 of Hatchell. Now opening up the door for Sad Boys on the outside, the 88, the 29. No one to the outside of Chris Simard as they approach the line. Doesn't look like that outside line has gotten organized yet. And now the head of steam, the 33 now to the back of the 29, and all 3 of these cars competing. For that lead, it's going to be tough. Simard and Hatchell have worked well to maintain this front position. And the 77 has got another lap led. Hutton didn't get a good exit off of 2. The 29 not connected to that bumper. Now they are connected, and you know that these cars are starting to overheat because they've had the same 3 or 4 guys pushing for about 20 laps. Laps tick away, and it's been quick here tonight at Daytona for the first race of the season. Not typical that we see these races go caution-free the way we have here today. But now with the intensity approaching 10 laps to go, you're going to see more pinching into the corners, drivers making gutsier calls, maybe some 3 wide here up at the front. If I know one thing about Daytona, I don't want to be that 77 car unless I know I have a teammate behind me. The 8 of Hatchell would be the partner I would want, because there's a good chance if anyone else is behind that car, they're going to jump out here in the entry of 3 and try to get the run. Hutton now with the push on the outside. Hronis trying to make up some ground. The 22 of Emerson losing some time. He needs the 35 to get up here and give him some help. He has no help now from the 48. And the 35 of Banks trying to work by for that lucky dog position. The 33 of Stravato has heavy right rear damage. We'll get a look here on board with the 35. You can see that rear bumper all caved in, probably interfering a little bit with the flow of that machine, and might not be a car that will be able to lead this race. If they need some help here from the 33 car, it's going to be a tall ask with the aerodynamics on that car. He's done well, though, to keep it up here in the top 5. Smart and Hutton still going at it. 10 laps to go. Coming off of turns 3 and 4. '77 to Samarin on the inside. Seth Hatchell giving him help. And the intensity picks up even more. Some cars tagging the yellow line. Touch on the apron there for Emerson. Starting to feel the effects maybe of that damage, or taking no tires on that last stop. Looked like he took 4. He had 14.5 in the box, but that car looking like it's a little out of control as we hit 8 to go. Samard still holding on to this lead. Some guys that are deep in this pack. You've got Brody Hayes in the 37 who hasn't seen the lead for a minute. There's the 46 of Sullivan back in 9th. Might look to see these guys start to make a move. They have lap traffic in the mix here with the 13, the 48, the 35. But how about there on the outside? That's the 84 machine. Jordan Brockel also a lap down. All these guys fighting for the lucky dog spot if there's a caution, but there's a good chance that it ends up coming out where they are. And Hronis has not been able to push that 88 machine past the front end of Chris Samar. They've been sizing it up for quite some time here. They get a good run down the backstretch. You can see pulling back up alongside the lead, but not able to clear. starting to get a little bit tighter. 6 laps to go. The pinching is almost maxed out. The side draft from the 88. A little bit of movement there on the inside line. The 22 car with that damage starting to ill handle and moves up to the outside. Now back to the inside. Emerson has nowhere to go. Banks can't get to the back bumper. The 3 Sad Boys drivers on the outside trying to pass the 2 V-Speed drivers on the inside. Simard, Hutton, Hatchell, Hronis, and Emerson battling it out now for 5 laps to go across the line here at Daytona for race number 1. Nothing in front of the 77 car. He has a great partner behind him. Hronis cannot get the 88 past him. Deep in this field back here, you've got some guys that are starting to move to the outside line. Trying to set up that big run. There's a gap behind Dallas Sullivan that's starting to form, and I think the momentum's going to swing here momentarily. Across the line now for 4 to go. There's the 3 wide. Dallas Sullivan to the outside with Brockel. No takers, and Sullivan's going to drop back again. Simard gets about a car and a half, and now Hatchell is clear of the 88. Holding it down on the bottom. 3 to go across the stripe. Does Simard have enough fuel? He's been leading for quite some time. The only thing that he's worried about right now is if my partner can keep me up front. And you know these drivers are going to start to push the issue with where they're allowed to be connected and bump draft around this place. You're going to start seeing it through the turns. We've only seen it through the straightaways. Sullivan's going to peak again on the outside of the 35. No one wants to go with the 46 of Sullivan. He needs a lap down car to take over and push him up there. That's all he has behind him right now. 2 laps to go here from Daytona. Can we run the entire race under green? Can Chris Simard hold on, or does Eric Hutton have something in the take? He's been known to win at Daytona in the first race of the season at other leagues before, and the Canes 88 has his work cut out for him. But it's going to be a fight amongst teammates. Onto the backstretch. Simard has a car length lead. Blimp camera on the outside now. Hatchell puts the block. Simard up into the door of his teammate. The 22 of Emerson onto the back bumper. Now Hatchell to the outside. The 33 of Stravato gets 3 wide. Here comes the 35 of Banks onto the back bumper of Hronis. Emerson gives a shot to the 77 across the line. Hatchell has the lead. Hutton gets a good shove here, and Simard loses a spot. Here's the move again. White flag. It's going to be official. Who's going to make the move? Back down to the bottom now for Hatchell as he gets around the 77 of Simard. Hutton has help from Hronis. Back to the outside now for the 77 car. Hutton gives a push. Maybe back to the lead down the backstretch. Jeff Wright pushed out of the way by Ray Massey into the grass. Off of turns 3 and 4 for the final time. The 23, the 84, a big wreck behind them. The 8 of Hatchell, the 77's around, and the 22 hits the wall. The 35, and it's going to be, I have no idea, AJ Stravato on his door into the wall across the finish line for the win. AJ Stravato wins this race And he's not even facing the right direction as he does it. The blocks, the bumps, everyone abandons everyone. In this race, caution free, until the final 400 feet, they kept it together. And Stravato surely not going to be able to burn this thing down, so we're going to go back on the instant replay and watch this final lap. There they are coming across the line. Let's back it up a little bit more. Here's the white flag. Samard and Hatchell got very disorganized towards the end of this race, started trading positions. You see Samard go to the outside as we head down the backstretch, and Hutton, who moves up. There's Hatchell, and that's Jeff Wright, gets that checkup. Massey had nowhere to go and just got into the back of him. Sends him to the grass. But then you see the 77 of Samard. There's the wreck with Massey, the 84 of Raquel. Those cars a lap down. Then Hatchell gets thrown down to the bottom of the racetrack. Let's back that up one more time here. Not sure if he hits the apron or what exactly happens. Oh, Samard comes down and hits him, but then goes back up the racetrack and gets into the 88 of Hutton. And then it's the 33 of Stravato. And look how he finishes this race with Brody Hayes almost getting the win. We'll ride on board with that machine. Where do you go? You just hold it to the floor and pray you make it. But how about that for AJ Stravato? Not a lot of car left. And what a finish here today at Daytona. Post-race interviews with your top three. You're watching Below the Double Yellow BTDY here live from Daytona on VSPEED.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader, known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Welcome back to Daytona. The coverage here for BTDY race number 1 of season 3. They've concluded 100 laps for 200 miles today. And AJ Stravato is victorious after crossing the line 180 degrees in the wrong direction. Caution-free race here today. As we show the final results up on your screen, well, let's take it back one little gap there. The top 3 with Brody Hayes, Angela Hurones. Seth Hatchell's going to come home in 4th position. Chris Simard in 5th. Those 2 drivers, we're going to have a little talk with them here from VSPEED. And a little private conversation about that betrayal. But there's Emerson, who comes across the line in 6th spot. Marcus did a phenomenal job with that damaged machine and no help. Dallas Sullivan's going to get 7th position. Eric Hutton back to 8th. Ray Massey, who went off the racetrack, somehow brings it home in 9th. And Nick Starling, the league admin and league owner, in 10th. 11th position goes to Justin Carey in the 21, Bailey Turner, 12th, Mark Beverly, and 13th, Cody Atkins, 14th tonight. Alexander Pelican, good to see him back, in 15th here. Charles Jackson in 16th, Dennis Faircloth back to 17th after starting up front today. In 6th, Dennis Steele in 18th, Noah Mihalski in 19th, and Joshua Banks rounding out the top 20. 21st goes to Nathaniel Ostrowski, Keith Mayato back to 22nd, Brendan Vasquez, Caleb Weekly, Jeff Wright. All these cars a lap down. Jordan Brackell back in 26th position. Kyle McGarvey, 27th. Lyle Sulfridge, 28th. Nicholas Lawrence, 29th. And Max Cost in 30th. And the last 6 cars on the racetrack tonight. Alan Dice in the number 5. Pre-race I was going to pick the 5. Dice, not a good night for him. 4 laps down. Michael Newman, who had a decent day to start the first half of this race, 32nd. Gavin Baird in 33rd. Jeremiah Vincent, Robert Gilmore, and Lane Sulfridge will round out the field. Lane electing not to take the field. So now we have interviews with your top 3. The first driver we're going to bring up into the booth here tonight, it's Angela Hurones, your 3rd place finisher. And I tell you, you guys waited till the very end here today, but with the last 400 feet of racing, it was complete chaos.
Oh yeah, that was. I had a feeling that it was going to be chaotic right at the end, but I didn't expect it to be literally at the end. That was. Usually, I'm just hoping to make it to the finish of these races, but I didn't expect it like that. But overall, throughout the day, it was fun working with the guys from Sad Boys. It's pretty. I was gonna say, like throughout the racing, I don't know if you saw it on a broadcast. Like we were pretty squirrely after a certain amount of laps. Like it definitely got loose, which I actually like for this kind of racing. But yeah, it's definitely something I've never been a part of, but glad to be a part of it though.
Well, I mean, it's always good to be part of the top 3 at any race, but in this instance, we did see it looked like Emerson, and I thought maybe it was just the damage that was causing that. But Angela, you mentioned that this car gets crazy after so many laps. What was the window there when the car started to just lose the handling?
I don't have an exact range, but I can say like after maybe 10, 15 laps, that's when you start to notice it. I especially noticed it whenever we were riding on top of the groove, and like the bottom you can feel it a little bit, but especially in the tri-oval, that's when you felt it the most. But a lot of us were able to make it work, so that was fun. But yeah, I kind of wish that the finish y'all made it in one piece, but I mean, I can't really complain with a P3 either way.
When you had your teammate up there on the outside that somehow comes across the nose of a bunch of cars and ends up in the lead. You guys worked decently enough here together, but how difficult was it just to kind of figure out, well, you had VSPEED in front of you, you had your Sad Boys teammates, you had guys trying to get back in the lead lap. How difficult was it to navigate all these different factors here tonight?
Throughout the final run, we were definitely analyzing everything as it came. I mean, I know Jeff, he was working to get the luck. He was in the lucky dog spot if we had that caution, and I know Banks was right behind him, and he was definitely giving it everything. But especially with V Speed, I knew that I I was kind of expecting them to make it like side by side with them coming to the line. But I mean, just the way these races go, you just never know. But overall, I think it was a fun but chaotic finish tonight.
Well, overall, I think it was, well, I actually have the wrong graphic up on my screen here, but your third place finisher here tonight, we were trying to get a replay there, so we got chat going, the stuff that we do here at V Speed. But overall, the betrayal of those two, we're going to have a talk with them. Angela, you come home third. Congratulations. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out for tonight's performance?
Yep. Well, my sad boy teammates tonight, we all were great. My teammates from Sarville Gentlemen last season, some of them weren't here tonight, but miss racing with them. Everyone else in the league, sponsors, and you guys for a great broadcast.
Wait, thank you for your time. We're starting to butcher it here towards the end, but we'll try to get everybody satisfied in the chat. And Angelo, we thank you for your time, and we look forward to the rest of the season. We'll probably have you back up here.
Great. Thank you, man.
There's your third place finisher of the night, Angela Horonis in the number 29. I tell you, it's a little more difficult without Alec Martinez up here in the booth with me. I tend to be able to cook and work a little bit behind the scenes while he's asking questions or doing the final laps. So some of the stuff wasn't bookmarked, and I'll have to go hunting for it pretty deep. But overall, a great race. We'll move on now to our second place finisher, and that'll be the number 37, 10 scored on the track here tonight of Brody Hayes. And Brody, I tell you, man, it seemed like you were the only teammate amongst all the V-Speed drivers that wasn't in absolute betrayal mode at the end of this race.
Yeah, I was kind of a sitting duck there at the end on the in the bottom lane there. I didn't know. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know who was on the lead lap and who was a lap down. I was just kind of there for the ride. But if I got a chance to help Seth or Chris, I was going to. But once chaos ensued, it was just pray for the best.
Well, you saw all the movement up at the front of the field, and you had teammates up there trying to control both lanes, but it looked like it went awry after you exited turn 4. What was going through your head as you were on that inside line and saw cars going every direction?
I was hoping I'd miss them all. I missed probably 3/4 of them, but it was the V-Speed cars. We stuck together most of the race. We did a good job. Wouldn't say we had a plan, but maybe that was our plan. But yeah, off of 4, I guess the gloves are off. All bets are off. So I mean, I'll take a top 3 at a super speedway. So usually it's a little worse than that.
Well, gloves came off here for the last lap, like you said. It was a great race, though, overall, for you guys to make it through the entirety of these 200 miles caution free. I know that we tried our best to try to bring one out. There was a few different instances where I thought maybe it was going to happen. But Brody, after tonight, how much you looking forward to the rest of this season?
It's gonna be a good year. We're gonna have it's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of competitive guys. Good to see some new guys in here. It was cool to see a full field. I mean, we used to do 100 laps green at Daytona. I mean, clean is a stretch, but still, we went green the whole way. So hopefully, there's more of that. So yeah, it'll be exciting for sure.
And they're already calling me out in the general chat right now in the Discord. So I appreciate that, guys. Anybody that you'd like to shout out, Brody? I know you got him out there.
Yeah, I would like to say a happy early birthday to my lovely girlfriend who watched tonight. So thank you to her. But shout out to V Speed, you guys for putting on the awesome broadcast, and all the other partners that do this and makes a simple Tuesday night some it makes it pretty fun. So I enjoy it. So thank you.
Well, congratulations, Brody, and a great start to the season. And we'll see you next week here at BTDY.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Thank you.
Brody Hayes, second place finisher of the night, and I didn't butcher his graphic. I see everyone out there in general. Just give me a break here. I have no Alec Martinez, and I tell you, you know who is in more disbelief than I am right now? It's the driver that's in victory lane right now tonight. Completely out of nowhere, unexpectedly, not even facing the right direction. This car, mangled and maimed, gets pushed across the line of someone's nose. AJ, try to put some words together to make sense of this for me.
Yeah, there's not really too many words that can put that and make it make sense. That was one of the craziest finishes one I've ever been a part of, but two, I can't say I've ever won a race backwards and being pushed by another car. So that's I guess one to add to the bucket list, but that was a pretty dang crazy race between dodging wrecks and going green the entire way, and staying with the pack. So had a lot of fun working with some teammates, but what a yeah, that was a crazy finish.
Yeah, we're still trying to unpack it, and then we go deep into this race. Let's hunt back to where, Jeff gets knocked a lap down after after some mistakes made, where the caution doesn't come out, but there's enough that you guys lose ground. So there's one less teammate to work with. Then you guys kind of get split up on the stint with who's pitting when. Jeff is, a lap down, of course, and then you pit with your teammates. You all come back out together. You collect Jeff right, but then it's V speed. You've got some guys behind you that are teammates. You got guys that are just kind of opposite, and all the betrayals and guys working together. All of it meant nothing at the end of this race.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, that's how these play races go. You just gotta wait until the very end, kind of make your move and kind of bide your time. Especially with this Xfinity car, you're really gridlocked once you get 3x3 or 2x2 like that. I actually had some left side damage from I think our first green flag pit cycle, so I don't think my car really was even 100% to lead the line. So it was just waiting for the right opportunity at the right time, and sure to hell, it happened coming out of four. Normally, coming out of four at Daytona, and this league's been really shitty for me. Excuse my language. I've lost way too many races being the lead car, so it's I guess good to kind of go through the mayhem and and win the race like that. I'll take it.
Well, overall, a great start to the season. Maybe this is finally the time the 33 puts it all together with the luck category, because it seems like we'll have the camera on you, man, and then something always goes wrong, and whether it's beyond your control, I know the frustration, but hopefully we get to witness some of those races string together for you.
Yeah, man, that's all it comes down to. We've had a lot of speed, I think, throughout the past year, and haven't done as much over racing, but this keeps me in check. And we've had really good speed, just not the results to show for it, unfortunately. But that's how racing goes. That's how life goes. Sometimes you gotta be positive, take positive with it, and we have speed. So glad to show that speed and bring home a win.
Well, finally, AJ, while we have you up here in the booth, is there anybody that you have in mind that you'd like to shout out to for this win?
Yeah, first all my teammates, Nexus Esports. Hopefully they're doing well in the Coke Series race tonight. Want to apologize to Gavin Byard. I hope I said his name right. We made contact, I think, going into 3 on a little checkup, and I know it ruined his race. So I don't know if he's listening, but want to apologize to you again, and just the league for doing a hell of a job putting together a good league. That was a little chaotic, but it was good fun. Obviously, coming home with a win.
Well, in 36 cars, the one on top here tonight, victorious AJ Stravato. Congratulations on the win and a great start to the third season here on V Speed.
Yes, sir.
There he is in victory lane, and he's going to go enjoy it. And not much of a car left to celebrate with, but congratulations to AJ Stravato. And I'm still hunting. I am still hunting. I just want you guys to know that we have some spins on pit road. Apparently, I cannot find that one, but we will try to take it on board here
Here comes Bentley Glazer. Does he time the move? He goes high. Shibata blocks. Turns the 33.
Contact there entering turn 1.
Around goes the 9. Oh, he cuts back at the track and he gets squashed. Josiah picks it up into the air.
Oh, big wiggle.
Here comes Miles using the box. Zach Carr closing in behind.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned.
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.